She is a singer, songwriter, TV host, actress,
vocal coach.
And vocal coach. Yeah. We're running out of hats for this lady. She does so much. And I had the opportunity to check out her YouTube channels with some of her songs. Absolutely amazing. Amazing. And you can just see the artistry coming out. I mean, that's who you are. That becomes your oxygen, right?
Yes,
absolutely. And that's really amazing how you can do that and how you make that come through. But as always, right, we are going to keep this real, raw, and live. And we want to take you behind that black curtain. We want to show you and introduce you to who Stephanie is, where she started, where she's at today, and where you see yourself going. And we're going to chunk this down, and I'm going to pull those golden nuggets out. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
That a girl. So, Stephanie, introduce yourself and tell us, where did this all start? Where did you grow up? Where were you born?
Okay, well, I'm Stephanie Thompson. I'm a singer, classically trained singer-songwriter. I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA, an actress, vocal coach, and of course, the TV host of Stephanie's Movie Reviews, created, directed, and produced by Amy Kardashian. And not Kardashian, that's right.
I love to say that. See, yes. I love saying that.
See, he belongs on our team because he knows that. It's great. So actually, I was born in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois. My dad was getting his doctorate degree at the University of Illinois. Yep. Wow. Yep. And we moved to Southern California when I was about 3 years old.
Oh, so you were born and raised in SoCal?
Yeah, I consider myself a Southern California girl, even though I was born in Illinois.
You know what we call that, right?
What?
Spoiled. That's what we call that.
I know.
Here's what I said to her, right? I said, she would fit so well in Jersey with all this bling.
Yes.
Look at that. Love it.
Yeah, this is part of who I am, and I'll get to that later. Anyway, so my parents are both musical. Mm-hmm. My dad is a beautiful singer, and I started singing when I was about 3 or 4 years old.
Okay.
And as I grew up, I was kind of like the daddy-daughter duo in church.
How was singing for you as a little girl? What did it make you feel like?
Truthfully, there was a moment when I was about 9 or 10 years old, and I was standing. I was in a musical, and I was standing on the cold pavement in the church, barefoot, and I was singing a song, and I remember having this feeling coming over me, and I was like, "This is what I want to do with my life."
There was a moment. There was an aha.
Yeah, that was like, "Oh my gosh, this is what I want to do." I got such a rush. And it just became my reason for being, is to sing.
Really?
And I always feel so close to my faith in the church, because I feel like God gave me an opportunity to serve through my voice.
A gift.
It was a gift, and it just meant so much to me to be able to create these emotions in people and to impact people, and no matter where they're coming from or whatever, they hear me sing and it changes them somehow.
You know, most singers and actresses or actors, right? They always say that they're so at home in their element on stage or on the platform or wherever that is, or behind in front of the camera, whatever that is, right?
Yes.
Because it's interesting when you see actors, and I remember Robert De Niro. When you see actors get an award, they almost look awkward. But when you get them in the movies or behind, in a script, in their world, they just run with it. But it's so interesting when you see these people that you think are just amazing, and then when they're getting an award, they're going, is that? So can you relate? I mean,
I can absolutely relate, because when it comes to like talking about myself, like if I'm just in a group of people and talking about myself, I kind of get tongue tied sometimes. Although where I am now, I don't have the same problem.
But you did.
Interestingly enough, I was always shy.
Okay.
And I was always kind of just like the wallflower. I was a little blonde girl, a little overweight. And I never really felt like I fit in. And I had this really low self-esteem. And then I discovered singing. And when I would get on stage, I would be like, oh, and I felt this power, and but then I'd get back off stage and I'd be back like this again.
Yes.
So it was amazing. Like something came alive in me when I was singing on stage.
Yes.
But off stage, I was like that
it's
shy
like the
little
air
girl.
Took out of you. They took the air out of you.
Yeah, it was like that's where I lived, and that's where I was most happy because I felt like I had my gift and my strength, and I could do things. And so really, I have to fast forward because this is all part of the thing. I was so pumped up by your interview with Amy today.
Right.
Because Amy Kardashian changed my life.
Okay. And
it really, the turning point really started when a friend of hers, she convinced me to go to Amy's seminar. She was called the Life Transformation Seminar.
Okay.
And I wasn't
Here
really...
in Vegas?
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't really excited about going.
Right.
I'm not a seminar girl.
Right.
I don't like to go and listen to people speak.
The rah.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what am I doing? My whole day gone. It's a Saturday, you know.
Right.
And so I get there and I'm sitting, hunched over in my seat. And I'm looking at this lady. I'm like, life transformation, really? You're going to change my life? Really? And so 5 minutes into her speaking, she walks toward me, like there's all these other people in the room. She walks towards me. She says, where do you want to live? And she singles me out. I said, I want to live in joy. She said, you live in worry. I was like, what? This lady doesn't know me. How does she know that about me? And she just nailed me. And I felt these tears. Yeah, I felt these tears in my eyes, because at that point, I had suffered several setbacks. Mm-hmm. And I was really in a very stuck place at that point in my life. I was not happy. Yeah, I was not a happy person. And
how long ago was this?
This was in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, 2011.
Okay.
October of 2011.
You were completely in a funk.
I was in a funk. I was stuck. I was lost. And she started talking and she started sharing her story. And I was hearing more wisdom and insights of things she learned throughout her journey. And she was teaching me all these things. And I got all these aha moments. And I remember at the end of that seminar going, I have to get to know this lady better.
Let me ask you this before you go on. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Were you exposed to personal development prior to that?
I had played with it. Like I had like kind of read at some Tony Robbins and things like that, but I didn't really like delve into it.
And it was such a non-belief for you. Like it was a lot of airy-fairy.
It was like you get, you know how they say you get motivated instead of inspired? So you get like motivated, like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's the New Year's resolution. It's the New Year's resolution, right?
Exactly.
By February, that New Year's resolution is gone, but there was a connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went and I got her book and Tears of Hope. I took it. I didn't know what to expect, but I ended up reading it literally cover to cover. And
in one sitting?
Yeah.
Okay.
And at the end of reading that book, I was like, I need this woman in my life. I don't know what it was, but I was like,
it was like a magnet.
There's something about this woman. Because you have to understand, singing was my life. I got a little derailed. I had some setbacks. I had some things that happened that derailed me. And so I wasn't singing like I wanted to. I wasn't living my dream.
You allowed things to move
I
you
did.
away.
I did. And I prayed for someone. I prayed hard for someone who would believe in me and help me realize my dream. I prayed for years for that.
Well, what's interesting, what I love about this is you had that level of awareness to know that you needed to reach out.
Yes.
See, some people, right, they're in that funk and they have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
Now, you said, you know what? And I think, too, with your personality, is we call you Missouri, the show me state, right? Don't give me all the other stuff. You show me.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
And Amy was able to show you that. But what I love is you knew enough to ask for that, right?
Yeah.
and then eventually attract it and everything else, you know how that goes. But you had that level of awareness, that wherewithal to know that there's something wrong, number one.
Yeah.
But number two, this isn't normal. Like, this isn't natural. I don't want to live this way.
Yeah.
Number three, okay, where's the help? See, that's what people that are listening to your story right now, that are in that funk, might be saying, oh, that's great, but you did it, but how do I do it? Because that's what we hear all the time, because that's a victim mentality. But that's what I want to break down for them, right? It's those steps. And what did I say earlier? It's the recipe, the same recipe, just different ingredients.
Yes.
So I want that to be known.
I grabbed onto her like gold.
Yes.
And I asked her, I found a way to get a hold of her, and I asked her, I said, will you please coach me? Will you please? I had never had a life coach before. I'd never had a mentor like that. I was like, will you coach me? And frankly, I couldn't afford her.
Yeah.
But she agreed, and I found a way to get her mentorship, and my life started changing and opening up in ways that I couldn't imagine. So one day I finally said to her, you know what? I said, I'm a singer. I want you to see what I really do. This is what I really do. And Amy even told me later, she said she had no idea what to expect. She came over to my
before
house.
She heard you sing?
Yeah. She was like, because you have to understand, the person you're seeing now before you now, 5 years ago, that person did not exist.
Just a shell of what.
And so she looked at me and she's like, this person's a singer, a performer? Because I was down. I was in a dark, very dark place. And I started to sing for her, and she just got this look on her face. And ever since that moment, Amy has this ability to bring out your gift in ways that you can't even ever imagine. And she just believed in me so much from that moment on. She said, okay, you have a gift, you need to bring it out. And she just started believing. She had believed in me before, but when she saw that, it was a different level for her. And she really just kind of took me under her wing.
Now, let me ask you this. Two things I want to know, right?
Okay.
And we're going to get right back to this, but I need to know, and everyone out there probably wants to know, when you're in your darkest funk, when you were in your darkest funk, whenever you had the opportunity to sing, did you always just come out? Like, when you started to sing, would you just always get that feeling no matter, and then obviously go back into that funk? But was there a window of that 2 to 3 minutes that no matter how bad life was, now I don't know, right? How bad life was, when you got on that platform, did it bring out the best in you for those 3 minutes?
It absolutely did. Singing is that's where my soul lives. It's my oxygen. Sometimes I would be practicing in my room, in my studio, and I'd be sobbing, but I'd be singing. I'd be sobbing, but I'd be singing through it.
Here's a great point. You ready? And I am going to share my Zen. This is your Zen.
Yeah.
People always say, find your Zen. And here's what happens, right? And we are living color that this is true. Most people go right to, find your Zen. Okay, that must mean yoga. That must mean you have to sit Indian style and hold your hands like this and say, right?
Good luck.
Right. Now
Good luck for me.
For me, that ain't happening, right? Not even close.
Yeah.
But my Zen is the gym, and my Zen is motion therapy.
Yeah.
Your Zen is singing, and probably songwriting. So when you combine those two, so I want people to understand, you have to find your own Zen, and there's no right or wrong. You got to figure out what's right for you. If the Indian style going doesn't work for you, then that's okay. And if it does, beautiful. But I want them to know that this was your Zen. No matter how dark her time was, those 3 minutes, you were really Stephanie, right? The other one, you were afraid to be Stephanie.
Yeah.
So is that pretty accurate?
It is accurate. I always knew I had something to offer, but I didn't know how to get it out. I didn't know how to get it out in the right way.
How do you create this vehicle?
How do I express what I'm feeling? People thought I was like, stuck up or whatever. No, that wasn't. It was a defense. It was a defense to hide.
You were insecure.
Yeah, I was totally insecure.
Yes.
So one day after Amy started coaching me and after she heard me sing, she calls me and she says, Stephanie. I said, yeah, I could hear the urgency in her voice. She calls me up and she says, I need you to come over right now. I'm like, what? What's going on? She's like, I had this message. I have this light that hit me. I need to have a song written for my book. I need to have it be about having peace in the world. It's the message of that little girl who lived through the war, and I want you to help me write this song with me. I'm like, what? I mean, you don't get phone calls like that every day.
And how long at that point were you working with Amy?
We were working together for probably about 3 or 4 months.
Okay, so you get this call.
And I was like, okay, so I went over to her place and I was like, okay, I tried to talk her out of it. I said, Amy, I said, I'm not a songwriter. I didn't consider myself a songwriter.
You want me?
Are you sure? Do you think I'm not the man for this job?
Right.
How many times do you hear that?
Yes.
And she was so sure. She seemed so certain that this was something that I needed to do with her and that she wanted me to carry this message with my voice.
Okay.
So we started writing and I started pulling words from her book. Mm-hmm. Like I just started channeling words from her book and I started putting things together. Yeah, so between the two of us, we were just writing and it was so harmonic and just beautiful. And the next morning I woke up out of a dead sleep and the melody of the song was in my head.
Really? That subconscious just takes it in like a sponge.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this fits the words. It was like, wow. And I called her and I said, I've got the melody. So we wrote the song, we recorded it, and then we had the idea to put children on it. And then Amy had the idea to make it into a music video. And she brought her grandchildren in and she was in it. And it was just the most beautiful experience, the most beautiful collaboration with these children singing and dancing and everything. And we have the CD right now, Rise Above.
Okay.
And we have all the profit from this is donated to people who are affected by war and tragedy.
Oh, wow.
That is her gift to the world, that she really wants to help people who are affected by things like she went through. And also the first chapter of her audiobook, I did her audiobook on tape, and the first chapter of it is on that CD as well. So you get the song and you get the first chapter, and you get, I'm telling you, as soon as you hear the first chapter or you read the first chapter, you're like hooked.
So let me go back one step and then we're going to go right back to where we were.
Okay.
Because I want to take everyone, I want you to bring them in. The first time that Amy heard you sing and you saw her face and you saw her reaction, bring us there. Where were you? What did that make you feel like? Because you were coming out of that darkness.
Yeah, right? I get tears. I'm
girl,
teary.
that's what we want. That's what we're talking about.
Because she showed me her arm.
And it was
and
goosebumps.
She had goosebumps. She's like, look at my arm.
So where were you?
I felt like light opened up for me. Like,
this was the prayer.
This was someone that I believed in so much. I looked up to so much, and she believed in me. She saw something in what I had to offer that gave her goosebumps. I mean, there's nothing words cannot express.
Well, let me tell you, I got them right now. So that's why I needed you to bring us there, right? But here's the punchline. Here's what you have to understand. What you just shared is, let's go back. And if you ever think that thoughts aren't things, that thoughts aren't the most powerful tool we have in our toolbox. I want to prove you wrong. You thought about and you prayed, right? And what is praying? Praying is thinking, right? Praying is meditation, right? Whatever that higher power is for you, to bring that person into your life, to believe in you. So now the universe made it unfold, made it happen, and then took you to a place, once you became that person, to accept that moment, right? That moment. Now the universe is saying, no, girl, you're not done. We just started. Now the universe took you to another level, to where you get a phone call from your mentor, that's the person you prayed for, saying, I need you to be part of this with me. And you're like, holy shit, what? Right? What? You're looking around going, wait, is someone behind me? Is she talking to somebody else? And now it just took you to another level. So I want to make sure I hit that home. Your thoughts are things, good or bad, they're coming to you. Good or bad, they're coming to you. Would you agree?
I absolutely agree. And you know what the miracle, the true miracle that came out of it is that I wasn't a songwriter. I didn't write songs. I didn't feel confident about doing that. I thought that wasn't something that I had in me. After we wrote The Rise Above together, I started writing songs right and left. It was like something became unleashed inside of me.
The belief.
And you had it all along. I guess I did.
No, you did. Because you didn't take any classes, did you?
No,
I never. You didn't read any books you didn't tell me about, right?
No,
it was in you.
No, I love it. I just started channeling them, and now I have a CD, and I'm very proud of it. I my faith is very strong in me, and I feel very connected to my faith in the church, because that's where I started singing.
And is this Christian songs?
And these are Christian songs. Okay. They're all uplifting songs, and
you wrote each one.
I wrote each one.
And everything.
Yeah.
So tell me about, you just said you're very proud.
Yeah.
So let's expand on that. Okay. Why?
I'm proud because I followed my heart.
Okay.
And I took the dark places that I was in, some of the places in the songs I write about being in dark places, and I shone a light on them.
Now, was that a therapy for you? Did that feel like a therapy? It was
totally therapeutic for me.
So, right, whatever life deals, you have the option of saying, are these jokers or are these aces? Right? You can turn those jokers into aces. You just have to find your vehicle, find your outlet, and make no mistake. Make no mistake. She's not lucky. Nobody blessed her. She did the work to have people come into her life, right? Make it happen, but also you have to give yourself this credit. You still found the courage, even though Amy said, you need to do this, this, and this, and we're going to do this, this. You still had to find that courage. You still had to do it because she couldn't do it for you, correct?
Right.
So make no mistake, she had to become that person, because life makes the rules, right? We don't make the rules.
Right.
Life says, you better earn it, girl, or we're going to give you that lesson all over again. So I want people to understand that you were blessed with great gifts, but because of the action that you took, getting pulled through those fear barriers, and I can understand, the last thing you were ever going to do, because Amy became your why, there's no way you'd walk through fire for Amy at that time, right? Because you would not let her down, right? So she became your why, and that's what people have to understand at this point in this journey, that it happened for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason. So keep going, but I just want that to be known.
So
you did your part.
It's like Amy is my muse. She gets these. I don't know. I don't know what you believe you're watching or what you feel, but she gets these messages. She channels these things for me. And one day, about 2 years ago, she calls me and she says, you need to write a Christmas song.
Right.
It was like November.
Right.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Write a Christmas. I know.
And I can just picture it too. She's like, listen, you're gonna get a Christmas song done.
I'm like,
it's that alpha female.
Where is that coming from? You know, you need to write a Christmas song. She's like, no. She's like, I got this message. this feeling. I feel very sure you need to write a Christmas song. I'm like, oh my gosh, what else is this woman gonna ask of me?
Right?
But
growing like a weed.
Do you know the next day I had that song written?
Wow.
And I shared it with her and she's like, wow. Just
a day.
Just a day.
Just a day.
I just channeled it.
Yes.
And, you know, she's like my muse. She really is.
Well,
she's my inspiration. She is my why. I never thought about it until you said it just now.
She's your why.
But she is my why. I mean, I would do anything not to disappoint her.
Exactly.
And anything not to have her doubt her belief in me.
Right.
And so I wrote the song. She helped me through the studio and everything. And then she said, you know what? The next year, she said, we need to make a music video out of this. So we're like in September in the heat of Las Vegas going Christmas shopping for all this stuff. Me, I love shopping, okay?
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, we're going shopping. We're doing all this stuff. We're grabbing all these things. You know, it's great. And she's directing it all. Right. And she has this vision of what it's going to look like. And I'm seeing it unfold with everything she's doing. And I finally went to her at one point. I said, Amy, I'm sick to death of shopping. Can we stop?
You said that?
And she's like, what? Is this coming from you, Stephanie? But I got to that point. But no, it was amazing. And then she had her son-in-law do the videography for it. She directed, produced it, and it just turned into a beautiful thing. And it's called The Blessing of Christmas. It's right here.
Okay.
And it just turned out to be another beautiful project that, you know, Amy wanted to see me shine. And that's one of the things that I love about Amy is she has so many amazing, wonderful gifts. She's such a beautiful woman. She's so graceful. And yet all she wants to do is bring out the best in others and help them shine.
But that's why you feel that way about her, right?
Yeah.
Her intention is pure.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yes.
And that's why you feel the way you do. And here's the other thing. Right now, what people have to understand is I always say your teachers, parents, coaches, the greatest gift that you could give a child is a powerful self-image. And that's what you were able to get, right? Mm-hmm. And build with Amy, right?
And man, I'm telling you, this woman has the patience of a saint. Okay. My mom and dad wanted to name me Patience. My mom wanted to name me Patience when I was a child, which would have been the greatest travesty of the world. Because I am not a patient person and I'm very stubborn.
Right.
And when I first started being coached by Amy, even though I wanted to be coached by her, I didn't want to listen to her.
Right.
And so she really had to work hard to get through that barrier to get me to be open to even allow her to give me ideas of possibly being coached by her. And 5 years later, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm like on cloud nine. I'm living my dream. Another thing that she did is she had this idea several years ago. She wanted to have her own show. And she started it. It didn't she got busy with other projects. It didn't kind of get off the ground. But then she got approached to do her own show. She started her own show and she said, and who does this? Who does this to a student, an apprentice? She said, I want you to be my co-host. So she brought me on as her co-host of her show, Amy Kardashian and the Experts. And she let me shine. But then after we started it in January, and then after several months, she said, one day you're going to do your own show. And I was like, yeah, okay, down the line, I see it. She's like, no. And then one day she came to me and she said, you're not really shining in my show. I see so much more for you. And she had this idea, again, come to her. And she's like, you need to do a show about movies. I'm like, what? Because usually everybody is like, oh, well, why aren't you doing a show about singing or entertaining or something? That would be a natural fit for you.
Yeah.
For anybody, it would be the obvious thing. Right. But that's not what she saw. She knows how much I love movies. When I'm upset, I go to movies. When I'm happy, I go to movies. Right. When I'm bored, I go to movies. And she sees how passionate I am about them. And, you know, I've acted a little bit in my life. And she said, no, I think you would be a great fit for that. So lo and behold, in October, we started Stephanie's movie reviews. She produced, created, directed it, and I love it. And it's just like another passion, joy in me that she's brought out that I had in me that I have all of this information. Like, I know actors and actresses and directors, and I've always been able to like roll them off my tongue and be able to tell you who's in what and whatever. I had that information, but I never really utilized it. And she's like, well, here you go. Here's a show. Now you can take all that information and use it for the good.
And run with it.
And run with it. And that's what I've been doing. And she's graciously agreed to be a guest on my show. And we're having a great time doing that.
And interesting enough, when I did your show the first time in LA, up in Hollywood, that's when the transition was happening. Yeah. Because that was one of the last shows I think you guys did as a co-host. And I remember Amy, one of the things I do remember is when Amy said, yeah, so she's going to have her own show. And I looked over at you, I said, you are, and you just lit up like a Christmas tree. Yeah. Like your face, I remember that, right? And I'm only learning more about the story now, but that's what sticks in my head is that, you know, that pride, right?
Yeah.
And that what's that map to? That maps to your self-image.
Absolutely.
That maps to your self-image.
Absolutely.
From 5 years ago to now, it's like you couldn't even describe.
And I've got to tell you, I came from, we were never wealthy people, but I came from a family of privilege. I was given everything. I was given the best education. I was given everything, but I always had a low self-esteem. It didn't matter. No. My parents were great parents. I had a great upbringing. There was no reason for it. Just something in me. Amy has given me that gift of my self-esteem and feeling of self-worth, you know, that I've longed to have for so long, and to feel good about not just being confident on stage, but being confident in my life. And that's really what I want people to walk away with, that, you know, you can start anywhere in your life. And, you know, you look at me now and you think, oh, how did she no, I did have a low self-esteem. I did struggle. But I'm here now because I had these opportunities and because someone like Amy believed in me. And it's possible. It's absolutely possible. Like you said, you know, we learn, you ask and you shall receive. You know, you just keep knocking on that door and you keep knocking on that door and you keep knocking on that door. And I'm so grateful to her. And there are no words to express how much she has meant to me in my life as my mentor and my coach. And we've become, I am so privileged to say we've become like sisters now.
And that's what she had said. Before we went on camera, she said she's my sister for life.
Yeah,
right.
We're sisters now forever.
And that's real. And it's interesting how, you know, you guys came from completely polar opposite backgrounds and history and all that, and how the universe connected you, and then the growth, right?
Yes.
That you're doing through her, right? And her belief, and that's what I want to hit home. Is it's so important as a parent or a coach or a mentor to you gotta tap into that belief, right? And see. Here's the thing, Amy was able to not listen to the outside noise, right? Yeah. Maybe other people would say, you know what, don't waste your time. Exactly. Right? She's too stubborn. Exactly. She doesn't want to be coached.
Exactly. And what do you see in her?
But here's where a true leader separates themselves from a pretend leader or a wannabe. Yeah. A real leader sees that and knows that the outside noise is not going to deter them from what they truly know inside. And my story is Tommy. I I came to that interview on paper. I had no business there. I didn't know his industry. I didn't know outside sales. I didn't graduate high school, and I just come stumbling in there, right? Mm-hmm. But he didn't listen to the outside noise or something that he saw. And there was a window where I'd walk through fire for Tommy before I let him down. Mm-hmm. So I can relate. I get that, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's just that belief. And here's the great thing: you just scratched the surface.
Absolutely.
You just scratched the surface.
Absolutely. And now 5 years later, people are telling her, "Oh my God, I see the difference in Stephanie," and she's like, "Yeah."
And I
knew 5 years ago.
But here's the greatest part, right? That people have to understand. If we talk to Amy right now, she would tell you that it's always been a win-win, because I believe that happiness correlates to fulfillment. And see, you're able to fulfill Amy, which creates happiness in her. So it's always a win-win. When I share things like personal development, people go, "Oh my God, you make me feel so good." I say, no. It's a win-win, because now look at my vibration. It's through the roof, right? Yeah. It's always a win-win, and that's what I want people to understand. So what do you got going on now? What's coming up? What's next?
So we are like really going to be the blessing of Christmas. The video has like over 52,000 views.
I saw that.
So we're re-releasing it, and we're trying to market it as much as possible. And the movie review show is really starting to take off, and the sky's the limit in the future. We have some other things that she wants to do, that we're working on, projects that I don't want to talk about yet, but there is a very good possibility that I will have a book next year.
Girl. 2017 going to be an epic year.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about that. And so people should just go to akexpertstv.com and check out all the segments. Check out her academy. It's amazing. And you get 14 days free access. And if you want to join, it's less than the price of 2 cups of coffee a month. It's like nothing. And you get access to all these amazing experts, and it's just like, it's fantastic. And I've had the privilege of watching some of the classes already myself, and you just get so energized watching them. And I think it's just such a fantastic idea that she's created.
I just learned about it, and I'm honored that they asked me to be.
You want to be on it. I'm so excited.
We're bringing Monster Motivator style, baby, to the panel.
Yes.
So I'm excited. Now, I want you to share with people all this journey that you just took us on.
Yeah.
How has it affected other parts of your life over the last 5 years?
Well, Amy always says that desperation will lead you to the wrong destination.
And I like that. Say that again.
Desperation will lead you to the wrong destination.
It's the wrong energy.
That's Amy's quote. One of Amy's quotes.
I love that.
And I'm telling you, like, I have had desperate times in my life where I've gone to the wrong destination. I'm not in a desperate place anymore. I feel confident about where I am. I know that I'm on the right path, and I'm not going to settle for anything in my life, whether it be a relationship, whether it be my business, whether it be my family, nothing.
And I love that you use that term, because I just did a video on this, and I said, make no mistake, settling in life means you gave up.
Yeah.
That means you threw the towel in. That means you said, this is good enough, when deep down you knew it wasn't.
Right.
I love that. I love that you use that term.
And she has really taught me how to find my different whys.
Yeah.
So when I get stuck, I like, okay, what is my why today?
Yes.
What is that? And she's really taught me to tap into my intuition and to really listen to that inner voice. Because in the past, I've kind of like,
right.
But it's always right on. And it's just like, she's really helped me tune that.
Love that.
So it's like, you know, I feel really good about the decisions I'm making now, because I feel like, you know what, not only do I have her mentorship and I can go for her gut for guidance, but I know I have a good head on my shoulders.
Exactly.
And I'm tapping into that intuition and starting to be able to make decisions that are reflecting good things in my life.
Yeah,
so.
and that just builds that confidence. That builds that self-image.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to jump on. Marion, did we have anybody jump on? Some comments? I see a lot of hearts and thumbs being posted there.
Nicole Ludigard says, amen to finding your zen.
That a girl, Nicole. She's going to be on tomorrow night.
Cool.
All right.
And Yasmin Bryant says, God blesses us with people through him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. When you're willing to accept and be open and become that person, right?
Yeah.
Let's really keep that clear, because the universe, God, wants to help those that want to help themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anybody else married?
Yeah, Wade Bloodgood. She tapped into source energy, spirit of God.
100.
Mm.
And Rob Casey says, here in support of your efforts to bring seeing the miracle, my brother.
There you go. Hey, you know what? This is exactly what Monster Motivator TV is all about. It's sharing that I call it the Rocky story, right?
Yeah.
I'm from the East Coast, so I can relate. That Rocky story of struggle equals strength every single time if you're willing to learn. So thank you, Rob. Thank you for taking the time and jumping on. Anybody else, Marion?
Yeah, this Stephanie Karen Freeman says she's a rock star.
Atta girl. Atta girl.
Thank you so much.
Love it.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you.
And Chris Ripken, he says Shane the Train is in the house.
There you go. There you go. Shane the Train. That's my boy from Philly.
And this name I can't really say, so let me spell it. A-K-U-C-H-I.
Okay.
R-A is the last name. It says P.
Peace?
Peace, peace like in the 70s.
Yeah, peace sign.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. Anybody else?
Let's see, it says another, I hope I don't hurt this. Nadate.
Okay.
Says lovely.
All right.
Courtney says, hey Dave.
Hey, Courtney.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to say, hey, Courtney, thank you for jumping on. And thank you so much for taking the time. So, Stephanie,
Yes.
is there anything that I didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about? Because I know once we jump off, right, and we share this, you're going to be able to jump on, share with everyone where they can find you, where they can get these CDs, and where they can connect with you. And we're going to have you share that. But anything that you want to share?
I just want to share that I feel very privileged to be on your show today. And the reason that I'm on your show is because of Amy Kardashian. She has started this whole ball of wax going. And I just feel very blessed. And I hope that people will take away that even if you can't reach out to Amy specifically, if you can reach out to Amy, that's great, because she's a wonderful person to reach out to. Find someone in your life who believes in you and dig in and find that inner joy, that inner peace, and that gift. And I always encourage people, they have a dream in them. You got to go for it no matter what. Even if it's hard, if it's difficult, you've got to try.
And it's true. I would say this isn't a dress rehearsal. This isn't, this is you get one at bat. But like you said, even if it's hard, even if it's painful, and a lot of times it's going to be, right? Or it's not going to be worth it. That's part of the price of success. That's part of the price of the journey is the struggle, because life wants to know how bad do you want it, and who are you really, right? To become that person to move forward. And I want people to feel free to be able to reach out to you, because the wisdom that you've acquired over the last 5 years, now you can share to people that were where you were or worse.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
5 years ago.
Absolutely.
Right? And I'm a big believer in this, and I'd love your feedback. When you're in that funk, when you see no light at the end of the tunnel, when you think it can't get any worse, I always say, get outside your bubble, look around, pay attention, and look at the people that are praying for your problems, because there's plenty. There's plenty out there. What do you think about that?
There's an interesting thing. I went through something pretty challenging about a week ago.
Oh, wow.
And I really had to dig into myself and really find that inner strength. And I found so many people in my life who were believing in me and praying for me and encouraging me. And I really found out how much I was loved.
Yes.
And that was just like, that just opened up my heart.
Yes.
And I was able to make the decision I needed to make to move forward.
So that tough time, right, became a great gift.
Yeah.
Because you were willing, you are that person, you attracted those people in your life, and you were willing to look at it that way. You know, again, are they jokers or are they aces, right?
Yeah.
And you decided that they were aces. So that's an awesome thing that people have to take from this. It's your perspective. Life is all about perspective, right? It reminds me of the keynote speaker, Nick Beluchev or something like that. He was born with no arms and no legs, just a torso. And when he speaks, after, people want to come up and meet him, and they say to him, there's people that come up and say, how can you be so positive and so upbeat? And he says to them, now these are people with all their stuff, right? All their legs, their arms. And he says to them, how can you be so negative? Like, talk about, I mean, listen, if that doesn't affect you, like I said, you have much more problems in this seminar. You better go figure out, because it's about perspective.
And I just want to add, read this book, Tears of Hope. Read this book. It's on audiobook. I did the audiobook. I'm
getting the audiobook.
It's on Kindle. It's on what is it? I can't think. My brain is going visual when you want to read it on a Kindle or something. Ebook. Oh. It's on ebook.
You can sign up and get it.
You can sign up and
get it free.
You can go get it free.
Yeah.
And it will change your life. If you can't have Amy next to you, if you can't get her next to you, this is a way of getting her next to you, to have you see that, you know what, we don't have any excuses.
And if you want to get the Amy Kardashian on steroids effect, watch Monster Motivator TV, baby, and get her book, because now she will be next to you live and in color. So we are taking, we gave her a nickname, right?
Yeah.
Let's see a nickname. We gave her a nickname.
It's Amy Kardashian, not Kardashian. The Excuse Crusher.
That's what she's about. Guys, listen, make sure that you reach out to these ladies. Phenomenal stories, but even better energy and real people with real intention. And that's who you want to surround yourself with. Reach out. She's here. She wants to give back. She wants to help any way she can. And you've got to hear this lady's voice. It is dynamic. So awesome. So as you know, we end this show the same way.
Okay.
And for the people that don't know, I believe that you can only be in one state of mind at a time. So if you're in victim state, you can't be in gratitude state.
Right.
But if you can stay in gratitude state, there's no room for that victim state.
Sure.
What do you think?
I agree.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So if you could be in that unstoppable state the majority of your day, how would that feel?
Yeah.
Pretty amazing?
Pretty fantastic.
And what do we say? Life makes the choices, right? Or makes the decisions. We ask the questions. We don't, right?
Right.
And life says, Stephanie, you want to purr like a kitten or roar like a lion?
Well, I've been called a tigress in my life.
All right.
And I think the lion, I have a tendency to be over the top. So I'm like a lion. I want to growl like a lion.
You want to roar like a lion.
Roar like a lion.
That a girl. So we're going to take this out with the Monster Motivator roar.
Okay.
And as you know, the sound is just as important as the pose.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
We're going to do this. And you ready, Amy? Because we're going to hit this to... Okay. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Not a girl.